Welcome to the Hopcast. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, and I'm on board Milwaukee streetcar, the Hop. It's all about connections, it's all about community, and it's all about moving Milwaukee forward. All right. Welcome aboard the Hopcast on the beautiful Milwaukee streetcar here in sunny downtown Milwaukee. It's always sunny for the Hopcast episodes. I don't know why, but it's a great thing. Today I'm on board the Hop with two amazing Milwaukeeans. Our first mother and daughter Hopcast, which is amazing. We have Beth Weirick, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown. We have Shawna Nichols, DJ Shawna of the Milwaukee Bucks, and so much more. We're going to ride the 2.1 miles around downtown. We started at the intermodal stop. We're going to go to Burns Commons, and we're going to go back to the intermodal. We're going to talk about Milwaukee. We're going to get to know these wonderful human beings. We're going to have some quick hop questions to get to know them even better. And then we're going to do a final destination question and talk about success and winning. We're on board the Hop. This is the Hopcast. I'm Jeff Sherman. Thanks for being here. First, the onboarding. Welcome. Thanks for taking time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. It gives us some time together, which is rare these days.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Good family time in downtown Milwaukee.
Quality
That's what it's all
downtown.
So we have a lot to cover, but I just want to start off. Just give us the 2 or 3 minute Beth Weirick story, if you would, please, Beth.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
So the Beth Weirick story is, I was born Beth Janik in the city of Milwaukee, a family, very large family, very engaged family, multi-intergenerational family, 4 brothers, 1 sister. Spent a lot of time with family, extended family, cousins. Spent a lot of time exploring the city, Sunday drives. Those are some really memorable things for me. I went to Holy Cross Grade School, which was near County Stadium.
Okay.
And then for high school, I went to Solomon Juneau High School, which is no longer there. And during high school and grade school, I had the blessings of being surrounded by a multitude of really wonderful friends that I still stay in touch with. We're still very, very connected. I'm so fortunate to have both my parents still here. I was very fortunate to live across the street from my grandparents, my great-grandfather. So, you know, I got to walk to school every day and walk back home and really got to plant my feet on the ground, if you will, in terms of really getting to know this city. Growing up, when we didn't have cell phones, we would just bike everywhere and just wake up in the morning, get our chores done, hop on the bike, and we'd be gone for the day, whether it was at Hoyt Pool or playing at one of the parks, because we had lots of, you know, that's when the park and rec leagues were going on, and always something to do. And you just hang out with your friends and enjoy the green spaces and enjoy the fresh air and the connectivity of the neighborhoods. So for me, after high school, I went to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, thought I was going to become a teacher for children with special needs, and instead my life took a different pathway. I started a family at a very young age. I had this beautiful young woman shortly after I turned 19, and her brother Justin after I turned 23. So I was an extremely young mother raising children in this fabulous city. It was a huge blessing for me. I really, I would say I truly launched my career in the hospitality industry. And I always tell people, you know, you should always work in the hospitality industry because you learn how to read people, you learn how to take care of people, you learn how to have gratitude for relationships. And that pathway really took me into community service, working for an alderman at City Hall, Greg Gorak, then working for the president of the council. I worked for the Department of City Development, started my own company, worked for a state senator, and then worked for the West Town Association. And for 25 years now, I've been running the Business Improvement District here in downtown Milwaukee. So that is the Beth Weirick story in a nutshell. Very blessed, a lovely pathway. Certainly not where I thought I was going to be headed when I was, 17 or 18 years old, but here I am today and very, very pleased with the turns my life has taken me.
Very good. And Milwaukee is very happy to have you and thankful for all that you do each and every day. And Shawna, give us the Shawna Nichols story.
I love hearing her story because it's in my opinion very similar. So pick up at when my mom, 18, 19 years old, and I feel I grew up in the city. And so when you were talking about working at City Hall and DCD and Westtown, my brother and I were volunteers often. For a lot of
Volunteers.
yes, willing volunteers. That's all we wanted to do was lick envelopes and put them and hang tags on doors. It was a passion of ours that, so I felt like I joke, I grew up, I'm a city kid, and it's something that I talk about through and through. I also went to Holy Cross Grade School, Pius High School, went on and played basketball as a Badger, got to play professionally, and I found my way into DJing as another way, and I'm just really grateful with all the traveling that I did. I kept coming home for family reasons, and it's cool for me to see how my mom's love for this city has just continued to ooze into the rest of our family, myself included, to live, work, and play downtown. I'm a walking brand, so.
Without a doubt, yeah.
That's my girl.
Yes, indeed. Well, there's so much new vibrancy, public art and development and activations all around downtown. Beth, what are you most excited about? I mean, it's got to be a multitude of things, but if someone hasn't been downtown in a while, what's really standing out?
Well, I think the opportunity for us now, I'm going to say post-pandemic, dare I?
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that in partnership with the City of Milwaukee, we're moving forward with updating the downtown area plan. Because for me, it's an opportunity for this generation, for this wonderful young woman sitting back there, Emmy, to be part of designing what our city is going to look like,
right,
in the year 2040. So I'm most excited about just the energy, the vitality. I love that there's this little bit of this competition right now, and you remember this, Jeff. You and I go back a ways. We used to laugh because it was like we were the who's in Whoville, right? Like,
right,
touting all the great things about our downtown and our city. And you look at the vibrancy around you, even through the pandemic, there was still this connectivity of community. So what I'm most looking forward to is the participation of our entire community as we begin to map out the future of what our downtown is going to look like for my children, for my grandchildren, and for their children someday.
Yeah, I think you really hit on it, the connectivity and the community building that's happening in each and every downtown across the country, but it's really happened here from public art, murals, and talk a little bit about the Brighten the Passage initiative to really bring together the historic Third Ward neighborhood and greater downtown.
Yeah, well, for those that are not aware, Brighten the Passage was actually, ironically, as we talk about the downtown area plan update, that was one of the identified catalytic projects from the 2010 downtown area plan, was enhancing the connectivity between the central business district and the historic Third Ward, with a primary focal point really on that Broadway corridor, with millions and millions of dollars of development in the historic Third Ward side and in the downtown side, and most recently the beautiful renovation of the Huron building by Josh Jeffers. And you just look at that corridor, and we saw it as a blank canvas, and the community got heavily engaged in it. We just actually won an award of excellence from the International Downtown Associations for actively implementing urban placemaking tactics. And where that all took place really is under the I-794 corridor. So it was just this no person's land, this no man's land that, it was dark, there was no activation. And really, I would say through the efforts of so many, Matt Dorner, our Economic Development Director, Gabe Yeager, our Downtown Environment Specialist, Paul Schwartz from the Public Market, Historic Third Ward, Bid 2, representatives from the City of Milwaukee, of course the Department of Transportation and the State of Wisconsin. We were able to tap into some phenomenal artists that implemented these beautiful murals on the piers underneath the interstate corridor. And then we were able to install, with Ring and de Chateau, beautiful, beautiful lighting elements beneath the freeway as well. So you've got the activation of the lights, You've got the beautiful, bright, engaging murals, and then of course you've got the activation of that space now nearby the pickle courts. You know, you've got a lot of activities that are going on there that simply weren't going on before, and now you get that sense of connectivity. That space now calls you to be in it as opposed to avoiding it.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you brought lightness to a dark corridor.
Yeah.
And it's all about bringing people together, and it really activates and builds community.
It does.
Shawna, there are 30 teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
You are the DJ for the world champion right now,
Let's high five.
which is a
on that.
beautiful
Jeff,
thing.
that's
Right? All right.
You want a high five? Yeah, you need a high five.
But there are millions and millions of songs all on our phone.
Right.
Like each and every day, each and every game. How do you just kind of talk us through the process of how you best activate the crowd, how you pick songs that are best for the players, for the fans, and for the moment?
That's a great question. I appreciate how thoughtful you are with that. I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. I read that question in prep work, and I was like, I don't know. So I am a former basketball player.
Right.
And I had a chance to play professional basketball. And then, again, I started a second career as a DJ. And one of, I think, my biggest assets and strong suits is my ability to program and read a crowd. And I think when you mix all that together, I just get really lucky. You know, the more shots you take, the luckier you get. And
right.
So I keep taking shots. And I'll be honest, I think when you have a Bucks team make a playoff run as deep as we did and then win a championship, our city was dying to just feel that. I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
I could have played anything, I think, and that stadium. We have the best fans in the NBA. So I think I get lucky. I think it's a mixture of experience, you know, the 10,000 hour theory, and my basketball background, and then being able to read and understand people, because I miss a lot too. So
Right.
yeah.
So it's a good blend of art and science, right?
Yeah, science, 100%.
Science, yes. But you're an author as well.
Thanks.
Talk a little bit about your book and the nonprofit connections.
Absolutely.
Come together with your mom there on a project. But talk about your book and tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. That's probably my most proud and favorite, I think, career moment that I've had. It's the Adventures of Bob and Milwaukee downtown. And there's a lot of layers to it as you get to know me. I think there are a lot of layers to me that you, like, even when we talk about tattoos, you peel back and there's meaning and there's just, it goes deeper. So it's a book about a yellow lab throughout Milwaukee downtown, but you peel back a layer, and Bob was our first family dog.
Okay.
And we never really had pets, like real pets, I should say, growing up.
My brother had allergies.
Right, yeah. And so Bob, I mean, as an adult child, I helped with Bob. And to be honest, it was one of those things, you know, everyone talks about writing a book, and it snowballed for me. And it was a catalyst was my mom's late husband, Joe, my stepdad, getting diagnosed and then passing away from cancer just wicked fast. I started helping more, walking Bob when they were at Mayo and doing all sorts of things to try to keep Joe here longer with us. And I started just taking pictures, and I realized I would get lost, like, downtown. It was one of the craziest feelings and one of the best grief processes that I think I knowingly did for myself. And it developed into a book, and so all of the proceeds actually go to Key to Change, which was something my mom and Joe are both passionate about, to help our chronically homeless families and individuals within the city of Milwaukee. And so it's a really cool way. It inspires me to always realize that I can walk out my front door and go on an adventure anytime, as well as then, you know, make somebody else's life a little bit better, while hopefully making my mom and Joe wicked proud.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thanks.
Yes,
And if I keep talking about it, we might get her to cry, so I'm going to stop.
Okay, all right, that's
and
right.
we have more questions.
As we drive by Lion Street.
Right.
A little crying amongst the sunshine.
Yeah.
It's all right. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. So Beth, talk about, you've spearheaded so many programs and initiatives in your 25 years in Milwaukee downtown. What are you most proud of?
Me? Just kidding.
Other than Shawna and
I mean, you know, but you know, immediately you can't help but I do feel most proud of the fact that personally, you know, I'm the mother of Shawna, I'm the mother of Justin. I have 3 beautiful stepchildren, And then, just now my 7th granddaughter was born a little over a week ago.
Okay.
So I'm very proud of my family. I'm proud of their work ethic and their integrity and their commitment to community, and the fact that they remain here in Milwaukee. And so personally, that's what I'm most proud of. But when I think about, all the blessings that have been bestowed upon me in my career path, which, I do believe if you follow your passion and what you're really committed to, a career can unfold with that. I think Shawna is a really good example of that. What I'm most proud of professionally is really just that I'm able to intersect what I feel committed about, what I feel passionate about, a city that I truly deeply love, and watching the evolution and the growth and the renaissance of that city. But again, also the fact that organizationally, I do have a little bit of an entrepreneurial side in me, and I think the creation of Milwaukee Downtown, and I was fortunate to be able to be a part of that on the ground floor, and just the leadership and the team of people from this community that I have been able to intersect with, who have been phenomenally committed. And I think about how many of those people are not with us on this earth any longer, but the legacies that they've all left behind. And then I look at the current leadership of my organization and all the folks who are being involved in the planning of our update for the urban plan, and then my team and our collaborative partners. And I just feel proud that we have created this environment where people can truly, truly, truly act out on what they're deeply committed to. And I think everybody realizes that you can be a change agent, that all the little things do matter and do make a difference in our community. And I'm just proud that I've been able to be a part of that, and hopefully in some way, shape, or form catalytic or inspirational to the process that we've been following throughout the last, quarter of a century.
Yeah, truly built a passionate team of downtown believers, and that it emulates through everything that you do. It's amazing. Shawna, same question. You've opened for Lizzo.
Easy.
You've opened for Shaq. What are you most proud of other than your wonderful mother?
I mean, this is I do not get paid to say this, but I get to call her mom, like you mentioned, and so I know it seems silly, but when you again get to know both of us, we seem so different on what you hear a title on what we both do, but I think we have so many layers that are very similar. But when it comes, I guess, to professional career, I mean, personally, yeah, opening for Lizzo and Shaq is up there, but being a part of something that was bigger than me in the Bucks championship run and watching the city and even the state and maybe the Midwest come together was something that you can't script, you can't, I think, create by yourself. And to be just a little small part of that is something that I'll cherish forever. And just wicked proud that the Bucks organization chose me to be their DJ. And, they just kept making buckets and winning championships. So, yeah, I think one more thing, if I may add, which I'm wicked excited about, is also my song. I think that's something I'm excited to do more of. Yeah. That's indicative of who I am as maybe an artist and a creator, a DJ, a producer. And so, yeah, there's a lot of layers to it all, but yeah, I appreciate that question. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
So as we continue on the hop here, I always say that the Milwaukee Streetcar is about development, density, discovery, and really driving and moving Milwaukee forward. Obviously, Beth, you've been a part of this project since the beginning, since the original concepts. We'll talk a little bit about the importance of public transit to downtowns, and then kind of what your visions are for the expansion and the growth of transit in downtown Milwaukee.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter where you travel, at least in circles of my friends and family and colleagues, whenever somebody is talking about a great city or a great destination that they've been to, they always talk about the connectivity, right? They always talk about how easy it was to get off the airplane and hop on a rapid bus system, hop on a light rail system, get off of that, maybe even in some circumstances hop onto a boat that is going to take you to another island, whatever it is. But it's really, to me, multimodal transportation is critical no matter what community that you live in. It's about connection, it is about accessibility, it's about safety, quality of life, it's about really simplifying everybody's experiences, right? So for me, well over 30 years ago, we were having conversations about rail in downtown Milwaukee.
The connector.
The connector, right? The connector. And for me, ironically, again, growing up in a multi-generational family, I grew up listening to my aunties and uncles and grandparents talk about the interurban and what a shame it was when the interurban went away. And it was really indicative of when we became such a car-centric country, we lost touch with the importance of public transportation and just what public transportation provides to communities. Again, that accessibility. So I'm so grateful for the Hop, and it has been a phenomenal success. And I want people to understand the ROI, the return on this investment, isn't always about dollars. Because if we look for ROI on our roads, where do you get your dollars for that, right? Exactly. It's all relative in terms of building a strong infrastructure to really bolster your community up so that you can add density. So residents, workforce, visitors, leisure travel, families, whatever it is, make it accessible, make your neighborhoods connected, make it easy and safe and comfortable for people to travel and to experience your arts, your culture, your sports, your food, and go to work and go home. So for me, when I think about the expansion of the Hop line, of course, I would love to see it go into Bronzeville and beyond. Of course, I would love to see it go south into Walker's Point. I believe it will happen. I also think holistically, the integration of all of our multimodal transit is really, really critical. And I think there are a lot of people who are working on that. I hope that we can find a proper funding source for this, and I hope that we can continue to provide great service to all of our constituencies that really depend upon public transportation.
Yeah, very good, thanks. This is a question for both of you. We're going to have an extension on the discussion around connections and building community. As you travel and you go to other downtowns, are there things that you're jealous of or stuff that you're like, wow, I want to bring that and do that in my downtown here?
Do you want to go first?
You want to go first?
Well, our last trip together was Disney World, so they had Mickey Mouse and Peter Pan. So if we could bring Mickey Mouse and Peter Pan, I asked for, yeah. I don't feel like, I mean, you know people.
I know people, yeah.
I don't know. But
you had Mickey Mouse for the Holiday Lights.
We did,
many years ago, remember
that?
that?
Was Mickey
That's
Mouse
really
with Radio Disney.
That was Mickey's first public appearance in the city of Milwaukee, too.
I got to meet Mickey then as well.
Yeah.
But
Right.
And I guess to bounce off of what you said, though, for me it is when I work to DJ and I travel and I get to do the Women's Final Four or other events and things like that and travel, it is always about connectivity and accessibility and how easy is it to get on public transportation or a scooter or things like that so I can get around and figure it out and explore cities. And that's what I get excited about Milwaukee is when you talk about this project, I feel like the Hop and I are related because it was such a, this is my sibling. We grew up together. And so it's something that I always say, I know it's not perfect, right? When you feel like you have to defend it. But it's a start, and you realize how long things like this do take. And that's what I take so much pride in, is watching the growth and development here in Milwaukee. And so I don't know that I would say that I'm jealous or envious. I just get excited because I know we have people in positions like yourself, like my mom, that are making things happen that might not happen tomorrow, but they are going to happen.
Yeah. For me, too, I think it's more about inspiration that I derive when I visit other cities. And I sure have missed traveling so much. But, I think about Boston. I think about, of course, New York. I think about Washington, D.C. I think about L.A. I think about San Francisco. I think even about Utah. It's just Columbus, Ohio. Who would have thought, right? We had family that lived there. And, we saw Columbus just explode with investment overnight. So the other city that I'm really inspired by is Detroit. We had cousins that we would visit regularly in Detroit, and we were able, when I was growing up, to be in downtown Detroit during its heyday and go to Belle Isle and the giant slide and the aquarium. And then I remember taking my grandmother there and Shawna and Justin to Detroit, I think like a decade and a half later. and my family there saying, oh, you probably don't want to go downtown. There's really not much going on there. It's not safe. And we went downtown, and remember I took them to Belle Isle, and I can remember standing in Belle Isle and like looking at Belle Isle with like caution tape around the giant slide and mold and mildew on the aquarium tanks, and tears streaming down my face, thinking like, no, this is not what I want my kids to experience. This is not what I remember growing up here. But now Detroit is the comeback city, you know, and Milwaukee, God willing, will never have to deal with that rock bottom that Detroit had to deal with. But I'm inspired by the grit and the tenacity of a Detroit. To me, it's like America's comeback city. Yeah. So I think about those things, you know. I'm going to Washington, D.C. I'll be there for Cherry Blossom Festival. So many great cities in our country. We are so very fortunate and much to be inspired by. Public spaces, public transportation, activation, historic buildings.
Very much so. A lot of opportunity, a lot of fun activations coming, and we can draw inspiration from other cities.
And if you need a DJ,
all that much better. And yeah, that's right.
So, see how it works?
I got a line on a DJ.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on. We're going to do a little quick hop segment here. I like to ask 10 quick questions. There's really no timer. I like to do it in 2 minutes. Makes it kind of a game showy.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask one question. I have you both answer.
Is it a race?
It's not a race.
Okay.
But you know, if you're competitive, make it a race. You know, whatever you need to do. Find family dynamics. So, what book are you reading right now?
I'm reading 2 books.
All right.
Oh.
I am
Sure.
reading.
Oh,
I am reading The Book of Lost Names by Kristen Hormel, which it's a little haunting right now given what's going on with Ukraine, which breaks my heart. It's the story about a woman who is helping Jewish children escape from Nazi-occupied France. And then Chris Sosha, who we're working with on the update on the downtown area plan, said you have to read Learning from Bryant Park by Andrew Manchell. So I just started dipping into that book. You would love it, Jeff. You would
Chris
love
is
it.
my neighbor. I'm going to go over and borrow it from him.
He'll probably lend the book to you. I will when I'm done. But yeah, those are 2 great books that I'm reading right now.
Very good.
Well,
Shawna?
I just finished Atomic Habits, and then I'm actually reading You Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
Oh, that's very good. I read about half of it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Thank you.
All right. Parking tips for someone coming downtown Milwaukee for the first time.
Well, I mean, right now, I think it's so easy to park. I mean,
Me too.
parkmilwaukee.com. Parkmilwaukee.com.
Very good.
I mean, that's a way smarter answer than I was going to give you. I mean, what we did is, park at the intermodal station, which has 10-hour long meters. You can hop on the hub and get anywhere, and then not only explore the hub, but take it for a loop, come back, and then kick it in the 3rd Ward for lunch or whatever you may be. But I don't know. That seems relatively easy when I figure like people are always coming from the west, this way.
We have a plethora of parking, and
easy.
Yeah, and what I've learned is that in most situations, if you know your destination and you go to the website, they're always going to tell you where there's available parking or how to get there by public transportation.
Very good.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant in Milwaukee?
Oh my God! Who's your favorite child?
It's a tough one to do. It's a tough one to answer. I don't know, Shawna, Justin, Jake Pierce. I don't know. It's a tough one.
I would say Cafe at the Pfister for breakfast.
Okay.
For lunch now, 3rd Street Market Hall. I can't help myself. And then dinner, it's either Calderoni Club or Buckley's probably. I know
Very
that's
good.
not, but I have day parts of eating.
Yes, very good.
Oh, it's hard to pick because I think for me, my restaurant eating actually is a lot tied to my family. So if you know my brother and my mom, I follow their lead and I eat anything. Whatever they like, I like.
Very good.
I'm a people pleaser.
All right, that's good. I like it. So favorite place to take a walk that's not in downtown Milwaukee?
Oh, easy for me.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
You go ahead.
I live on the east side. As of recently, I moved from downtown to the east side, and I love our Olmsted Park, Lake Park. And with the dog, pinch me because it is Gort. Pinch me. Yeah, Lake Park.
All right.
I mean, I love that park too. Again, it's my mom and my brother live over there.
And you walk the dogs.
I do walk the dogs,
yeah.
but I don't know if it's considered downtown, and I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm a big fan of Lakeshore Park.
Okay.
And to me it feels like this hidden little like nugget if you don't know how like it's there, you know?
Right.
I remember being at Summerfest or a festival one time and wondering one time like what is that and how do I get there? And when I found it, I felt like I reached this, you know, urban explorer level badge that I gave myself.
All right.
So, yeah.
So you have a free Friday night. Maybe there's not a game. Maybe there's not an event. What's your favorite thing to do?
Well, I would say
Hang out with
Other than
my
hang
family.
out. Yeah.
No, it would be probably hunkering down at my house,
Nice.
either cooking or getting food from a local restaurant. For me, it's really just about sometimes you need the opportunity to download and get reconnected because I feel like the floodgates have opened now and it's like we're back on the hamster wheel. So, granted, love the concerts, love the Bucks games, but for me, it's really about just kind of hunkering down, processing the work week, getting caught up with my friends and family and maybe snuggling a baby.
Very good.
I'm the same, honestly. That's how I recharge. And so it's like go. And when I get an off day, and when our off days align, it's a rarity. And so it's if I get a chance to hang out, obviously with my brother and his wife, and now Devin, it's like the best thing in the world.
Very good.
Yeah.
So if you're just hanging out and low key, do you have a TV series that you're watching that you like to binge, or that's like
Our
always
world is
you want
revolved around
catching-
food.
Yeah, I mean, I did love Ted Lasso, and I did early pandemic. I did binge on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I
Okay.
loved it, and I loved Ted Lasso. I loved it. None of us are really big TV watchers, We might have MSNBC out in the background, or local news, obviously, but yeah.
I am getting stuck in Inventing Anna right now, and it's blowing my mind, and I don't trust anyone. So, that's why I spend so much time with my mom.
I admit I watched 2 episodes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think I can watch this. I don't like what it's doing to my brain.
Yeah, my wife is watching that too. She's like, you have to watch this. It's crazy. Like,
I'm gonna get sucked in.
Favorite city other than Milwaukee?
New York, for sure.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Boston. I have not been to New York City yet, so I spent a lot of time in Boston and Cape Cod as a kid. I was lucky for that. So yeah, that's my vote.
All right. Most fun, famous person you've ever met, either as part of work or just casually on the street walking in Boston.
DJ Shawna.
I was gonna say Beth Weirick.
All right. Favorite purchase you've made in the last 6 months?
Oh God, I know mine.
What's yours?
Mine is I just got a new pack and play for baby Devin. Yeah.
I put it together.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
It's got a changing table and a bassinet in it.
Yeah. Favorite purchase, man. That's a tough question.
Oh, come on. I'm going to guess it's got to be one of your
I
pairs
can't
of
say it's
tennies.
sneakers. It's
Why?
nonstop. Oh man, that's a tough one.
Generally, it's sneakers, though, right?
Yeah, it's probably a sneaker.
From good stock experts.
shout out to
That's
Motive
it go.
3.
There we go. Awesome. There we
Motive
go.
Yeah.
3.
Just off the hop
Shout
route.
Uncle.
Motive 3. Great place to be. All right. Well, staying on that sports theme, we'll just kind of transition to the final destination as we reach our final stop here. I always, first, truly appreciate your time, taking an hour out of your day. It really means a lot. I want to ask you, Beth, to define success.
Oh, God. Okay.
That's her sassy tone.
No, because
Oh,
to
gosh.
me, success means like I've achieved what I've set out to achieve, and it's like I think success, I guess, would change for me daily. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, did I knock off what I wanted to knock off? Am I feeling good about, where my family is, where my team is? I've actually had a board member say, sometimes we just got to stop for a minute and think about the successes we've had and not keep running. So I guess success is really taking the moment to, I guess it's visceral. Success is when you know you've accomplished what you set out to do, right?
Very good. I like that. I like that definition.
Yeah.
And on those same lines, the basketball player, as a world champion, define winning, Shawna.
I think it's competing with myself, and I don't feel like I have to compete with anybody else, but we'll tie it up with being dare to be and getting 1% better every single day, and that varies on the day on what a win is, and so it might be a cliche answer, but did I feel I got 1% better today, whether that's taking an off day, whether that's taking care of myself, or did I get better? Did I make a song? Did I hit a goal? Things like that. So,
Very good.
Dare to be, Jeff.
All right, dare to be
Onward.
on the Hopcast. Onward. So we're at our final destination. Define Milwaukee in one word.
Home.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. That is the perfect, fitting way to end this episode of the Hopcast. Beth Weirick, DJ Shawna, thank you for taking us
Our
and
hop
allowing us to
driver.
be on the hop.
Thank you for the ride on the hop. We love the hop.
Thank you.
The Hopcast available on YouTube and all the social channels for the hop. Come downtown, ride the Milwaukee streetcar, and enjoy your day. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jeff. Always a pleasure.